What's crackin', movie trivia Schmoedown fans? It's your boy C-Dub, and today we got Tom and Paul facing off against Deep 13. Whitney Seibold and Alonzo Duralde. These are four great players. I think I'm going to have to go with my boy Paul Preston and Tom. But this should be a great match. But without further ado, let's get it started.
Congratulations to Dan Merle, you deserve that title. February 29th in Atlanta, the main event for the championship. Ben the Boss Bateman defends his title against Dangerous Dan Merle. One of the biggest fights we've had in a long, long time. Easily Ben Bateman's hardest test he's ever had. The undercard is great. Alex Damon, Star Wars champion, going for his first intermediate match ever against Emily Rose Jacobson.
So I'm coming for that belt someday.
I know what I have to do. I know how I want to end this season, so Atlanta's in my sights.
Haha, that's a great story. So what else were things like on set? And it's true that you had as much trouble with the director as... Hi, if you're just joining us, we're back at the Video Drew Hour. This is Video Drew's show. Video Drew here from the Schmoedown. She's so very, very happy to be back with all the things that she remembers. Look at all the best friends that she used to have. Remember this? This season, Video Drew is so happy to be joining the Dungeon, the new faction she has with a brand new teammate, Tom. No, not old Tom. Not this Tom. Tom, no. Not this Tom. New Tom. There's a new Tom. Video Drew is here to win. She's here to make so many friends and to make so many new friends, which means leaving behind some old friends like old Tom. Tom, no! Go! Go away, boy! Old Tom, I don't like you anymore. Go! Go! You're in my light! Go away, Tom! Go!
But don't you want to see a dead body?
Okay, Tom. This way, buddy. Or this way. Okay, here we go.
Bones glow in the dark.
Okay. This way, buddy. This way, buddy.
To the movie trivia Schmoedown, and what a Schmoedown it is today. One of the first team matches, if not the first team match of the entire year, Ken. And these teams, we need to do some prep because we got factions. We got some factions that didn't even show up today. We got Deep 13 taking on Tom and Paul. What do you make of this?
Tom and Paul, that's like a great 60s duo, in the summer we sing love songs.
Paul was a genius.
Yeah, love them. Hey, season 7 is all about the new era, right? And that means we're bringing you a ton of new names. But here today, we don't have new names. We have familiar names, people you know, people you've seen compete, but now they have new factions, new teammates, and so that means we still have a bunch of questions about the match we're going to see here today.
That's right. It's a little time copy. The same matter occupying the same space at the same time, but in an all-new way. With Deep 13, you have Whitney Seibold, and you have Alonzo Duralde, both storied competitors with a lot of credentials inside and outside the movie trivia Schmoedown. They're teaming up for the Burning Droogs. The question you have is, where's their manager? Because Robert Meyer Burnett, maybe he's locked back in that cell he was in for the better part of 2019.
The Burning Droogs opened up for the Pogues in '87, I believe. So we got a bunch of band names around. Yeah, Robert Meyer Burnett not around here. Perhaps he's reading more leaked scripts. I don't know what's going on with him. But here's the thing: Whitney and Alonzo, outside the Schmoedown, they have great credentials, accolades, very respected in the film community. In here, they've earned respect. Maybe they've not got to the title picture, but I think every time I see these two guys compete, whether singles alone, I think the potential for a big win is there.
And the last time we saw Alonso Duralde in a movie trivia Schmoedown competition, not here at the Answer Desk because he always does the Christmas match with me every year, he was involved in that Matt Ashity questionable challenge. So has he rebounded from that in the new year of 2020? And then you look at Tom and Paul Ken. I don't know that I've seen a more mismatched duo since it was Muggsy Bogues and Alonzo Mourning playing for the Charlotte Hornets.
Sports reference with Ken and Mark. Look, here's the thing. Tom, he has shown up here. He was an enigma, but he just kept delivering correct answer after correct answer. But he was always teamed with Video Drew, and there seemed to be some sort of connection. She might have calmed him down. She might have guided him through here. So he's without Video Drew now, but he's part of the den, and he has Kate, the Loop from Chicago, Mulligan in his corner there, and Grace Hancock, the Lioness, who absolutely knows how to bring a killer edge to this. But Tom is now paired with Paul the Powder Keg Preston, who up until now for years has been part of the great show The Movie Guys. You should check them out. They do great things. But his partner, Adam Witt, has been at his side throughout this event. Gone. Poof. Adam's on another team. Paul's now with Tom. Can they figure this out on the fly?
A lot of questions surrounding today's match. Does Paul still use whey protein, or has he moved on to plant protein? And with Tom, does he still need Video Drew to compete? If you unplug him, what happens? It's like when you unplug Palpatine in Rise of Skywalker.
Absolutely. Could very much be like that.
All right.
Could grow some feet. Come on back. Should be
We're
good.
going to take a look at what each team had to say pre-show right now.
Joe winner, Ben the Bandit Gunner!
We're basically unstoppable because that's what I do. And here we are with our first team match.
Yeah, and this is listen. It's our secret weapon. That's not a secret. It's Paul and it's Tom. I'm going with Paul Preston.
She showed the energy and the desire to win, and most of all, more than anything else, the desire to raise some hell. Because hell deserves to be raised in the Schmoedown. And we're gonna bring that. Hell and wins. It's coming at you.
Paul Preston and Tom. Paul had a great rookie year. So did Tom, obviously. Putting them two together it's going to be insane to watch this team play in 2020 for sure.
Listen, I had a rough holidays, all right, so I went out to the middle of nowhere in the Joshua Tree Desert into a mud hut, and I took some ayahuasca to try and clear my head, and I had a vision. I saw something. Well, first of all, I saw a small groundhog, and we talked for a long time about the television show 60 Minutes. After that, I saw this.
Every time I see Tom compete or in a promo, it reminds me of me in my 8th grade graduation dance. Just in the corner, not sure why I'm here, but knowing all the answers.
Tom, how are you feeling? Because you have a 91% accuracy? How are you feeling today?
You can see me?
I think he's feeling well. We're good.
I'm back. And you're lucky.
Whitney, too. I mean, we know what kind of a player he is. I think we saw a little bit of that today. Singles, we've seen him in teams already.
I've been saddled with teammates that haven't really helped me, but today things have changed. I have the esteemed and the unbelievably dashingly handsome Alonso Duralde.
Alonso Duralde and Matt Ashby, these are two industry veterans.
And so we're competing against a dead guy and the walking manifestation of toxic masculinity? Is that the deal?
I know what Alonso is capable of. I know what I'm capable of. And I think we can take a rod of testosterone and a guy who lays on a grave.
Listen, I did bring you guys some little snacks just in case, a little Tito's for you, my friend, and some of my placenta tincture. I feel like that's sort of your brand of kink.
I got lost looking for Steven Dorff's house.
Oh, can we edit that out?
I'll do all the talking, but together we'll do all the winning. Let's do this.
Hey, Ken, I'm not sure that they have anything more in the way of knowledge about this match than we do, but man, they seem ready to play. I like the enthusiasm that I'm seeing from that pre-interview.
This is, the interviews are great. It's like a long-form Herald improv contest going on back there, and I'm excited just to get going to this one.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to give the strengths when we go to the tail of tape for Deep 13. Deep 13, very good at, obviously, holiday movies, new releases, and Deep 13 sounding like the name of a drug in an 80s action film.
That's true. also on the other side, Tom and Paul, I asked them their strengths. You got directors, fantasy, sci-fi, and Tom looked me dead in the eyes and said, putting a lot of DVDs in my mouth. So,
That guy's been hitting the deep 13 a little too much.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
All right, Ken's ready. I'm ready. Let's get ready to Schmoedown! The Golden Throat of Ken Knapsack will be introducing each team. Ken, at your leisure.
Introducing first, representing the Burning Troops, making their debut as a team in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Teams Division, Whitney Seibel and Alonso Dorade, Team 13.
The sitcoms of yesteryear, Ken. One thinks of bosom buddies, golden girls, empty nest.
Perfect strangers there for me as well. Perfect strangers.
Great place in Chicago, the home of Kate Mulligan.
That's right. And their opponents, representing the Den, accompanied to the arena by their manager, Kate Mulligan, and special advisor, INS Grace Hancock. This is Paul the Powder Keg Preston and Tom.
All right, Kate Mulligan, Grace Hancock doing their thing. Paul seems a little freaked out by Tom. Tom is there. As Paul goes over to his seat, and then Tom is going to be over the far seat.
We got Tom. Tom is there. He found the seat. Everything's good. All right.
Paul, you had a pre-show word you'd like to say?
Oh yeah, I'm done with protein powder.
Oh, that's good. That'll help the tech. Oh, no.
I'm juicing now, bro.
Oh, no. What do we got?
no.
Look at that. Okay.
That looks dangerous. He's not actually going to drink that, is he?
He's going to drink it.
He's going to attempt to drink it in the studio.
I got a lot of ayahuasca to wash out of my system.
That is
ayahuasca?
That is true. The production crew thanks Paul for his switch, I'll tell you that much.
That's right. Now, the kids at home, we don't encourage them to take anything called ayahuasca, anything with that many vowels in it sounds dangerous. Paul, you and Tom are competing for the first time. Do you need me to give you all a rules refresher? Are you guys feeling good? Where's your mental state at?
I love when you do that, talking lizard.
This is...
You know what? I'll give you a rules refresher just in case. In round number one, the field of teams and competitors is going to hear 8 questions from 8 different corners of movie trivia Schmoedown know-how. Each question is worth a point per correct answer. As a friendly reminder, you may not rely on the strength of your teammates' knowledge in round number one. Every point you accrue does go to your team's total. Thank you, Kate, being the good mom, as always. Once we ask a question, about 15 seconds to write down your best attempt at an answer. Once we ask you by name to reveal your answer, please show you wrote on the whiteboard. At the same time, you verbalize your answer into the microphone. There is no stealing in round number one. There is no penalty for missing a question in round number one. Deep 13, are you confident despite the fact, or maybe because your manager, Robert Meyer Burnett, is nowhere to be seen?
I'm sorry, who?
Exactly.
It's a fair answer, and so if we get the ready from everyone, I guess the last word would go to Tom. Are you prepared to play?
I saw Tom Hanks in the bathroom.
It's time for the movie trivia Schmoedown!
3 rounds to a finish.
All right, kicking off the questions in round number one will be Ken Knapsack. Ken, what is the category starting off today's events?
All right, category number one comes in the category of action-adventure. Action/adventure. Who played Marshal Samuel Gerard in The Fugitive and U.S. Marshals?
Is either one of those movies in the theater?
Tommy Lee Jones.
That was right in the prime time of I actually left my house days.
My brother and my mom.
4.
My brother and my
3.
dad went to go see The Fugitive.
2.
Me and my mom went to go see Hard
1.
Target.
Oh, you are a lucky boy.
Good day.
Pens are down. Looking for answers starting with Tom.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
He was mean to me in a Q&A once. Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Whitney.
Tommy Lee Jones. A Quinn Martin production.
We are tied up.
Pretty sure Alon's not the only one with that story.
No.
We go to movie release dates as next category on the question. The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser, was released in what year?
You know,
Movie release date question.
movie release date. Tommy Lee Jones is the Ty Cobb of movie stars.
1999.
Ty Cobb.
That's right. You ever had an interaction with him?
I like to
no.
think of Ty Cobb as the movie star of baseball players.
3, 2, 1. Whitney pens down. We're looking for answers starting with Alonzo.
Oh, I hate this category. 1998?
Incorrect.
Correct. Is
Paul
1999?
That is correct. Whitney.
AD 1999.
This is even more correct. Tom.
1999.
1999. We got a 4-3 lead.
And the crowd exploding on Tom's correct answer. He has curried the favor of some of the fans here, although Paul Preston not entirely sure he actually exists.
We've got question number 3. Comes in the category of dramas. Dramas. What Best Picture winning film follows England's 1924 Olympic running team?
So, fun fact about The Mummy. Came out in 99, 3 weeks before The Phantom Menace. I went to the AMC Hampton 24 to go see The Mummy just to scout the location where I'd be camping out to buy tickets
That's
for
why
Star Wars.
we're best friends. 5, 4.
Are we best friends?
3. Josh is first. 2.
I gotta check the
1.
Schmoedown website for the rankings.
Pens down. Paul Preston.
Chariots of Fire.
That's right.
Chariots of
Whitney
Fire.
got it. Tom.
Chariots of Fire.
Fire indeed. Alonzo,
Chariots of
we
Fire.
got it. Here's a pitch for you. It's a movie about people doing long distance running.
The title is misleading.
It's not an inaccurate statement, Tom.
Question number 4.
This is in the world of animated movies. These are movies drawn by hand or on a computer. The question, what DCEU actor provides the voice of Flynn Rider in the film Tangled?
Oh.
I will die on this hill. Tangled, very underrated film.
Tangled, also a great song by Jane Weedland on the Pretty Woman soundtrack.
Oh, was she in the Go-Go's?
5.
The Bengals?
4.
Go-Go's?
3.
Could you repeat the question?
Certainly. What DCEU actor provided the voice of Flynn Rider in the film Tangled? And then I said it was criminally underrated.
Henry Cavill?
Jane Weidland. I knew she was in the Go-Go's.
Yeah, good documentary of them coming out there.
Which is why you're one of my top 10 favorite friends.
I'll take that with a bullet. 5, 4, 3.
Could you repeat the question?
Certainly. Enjoying this question.
Okay.
What DCEU actor provides the voice of Flynn Rider in the film Tangled?
It's Belinda Carlisle that caused a lot of the friction in there, but it was a Jane Weedland kind of thing.
Are you besmirching the sacred name of
Zachary
Carlisle?
Levi.
No.
Ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth?
That's Sheriff Carlisle. All right, 5, 4, 3. Love comes
2,
first. 1. Pens down again. All right, we need answers. Starting with Whitney.
Is it Zachary Levi?
All that for a yes.
Nailed it. Does Tom have it?
Couldn't remember his last name.
Oh, he did get Zachary, but no Levi.
Alonzo.
I went one worse and I said Zach Braff.
I mean, sometimes I'd accept
Zachary
that.
Levi.
We
Paul
got
Preston
it.
did have it.
All right, we've got a 7-6 game here. 7-6 game. All right, your 5th question comes in the category of fantasy slash sci-fi. Fantasy slash sci-fi. Which actress stars as astronomer Ellie Arroway in 1997's Contact?
Can you tell me the difference between an astronomer and an astrologist?
Jodie
One
Foster.
has an office in their apartment. 5, 4,
One could prescribe
3,
drugs, the other one
2, 1. Looking for answers starting with Tom.
Jodie Foster.
That's correct, Jodie Foster.
It is Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
We got that? Paul Preston.
Jodie Foster.
Got it.
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster indeed. I think Paul Preston's perfect so far.
Paul
Right?
Preston is still perfect through 5 rounds.
And anyone else? Anyone else? Check it. Whitney's perfect as well so far. All right.
Since birth.
Your next category is in the world of comedy. There they go. There they go. It's probably going to be dead by season 9, I'd say. Your question in the world of Yuck Yuck movies: who directed Zack and Miri Make a Porno? And a hush comes over.
He said
the
the word
crowd.
porno.
I did say the word pornographic movies. For more on that, we go to Ken.
I did live in Chatsworth for 4 years. 5,
Kevin Smith.
4, 3, 2, 1. All right, pens down. We'll look for answers dedicated to Tanya Tate. Here we go, starting with Alonzo.
Kevin Smith.
That's correct.
Kevin Smith.
Paul's got it, yes.
Kevin Smith.
We got it. Tom.
Kevin.
Everyone got it. 11-10, 11-10.
11 to 10 in favor of Tom and Paul.
Question 7 comes in the category of horror/thriller. Horror/thriller. What Star Wars actor provides the voice of Chucky in 2019's Child's Play?
My favorite Star Wars movie, the one where Mac comes to Earth and he befriends a young
Mark
boy.
Hamill.
Oh, Paul Rudd is a Jedi for like no other. I'll tell you what. 5, 4,
Good Conan.
3, 2, 1. Pens are down. We're looking for answers starting with Paul Preston.
Mark Hamill.
That's right. Mark Hamill indeed.
Was indeed Mark Hamill.
It is. Whitney's got it.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill for Tom. Alonzo.
Mark Hamill.
Perfect round. Perfect round. By the way, you can buy his son's Nathan's drugs online.
Watching from their home. Hi, Hamills. Thank you for your patronage. We go to the last question, round number 1, and that comes from the world of family films. And your question: Hugh Jackman plays which celebrated entertainer in The Greatest Showman?
Put quotations around celebrated.
Oh,
Could be. The beauty's in the eyes of
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look for answers starting with Whitney.
P.T. Anderson. I mean, P.T. Barnum.
P.T. Barnum.
There it is.
There you go, Tom.
P.T. Barnum.
P.T. Barnum.
Awful movie, awful person, P.T. Barnum.
That's right.
It's a horrible thing to say about Hugh Jackman. P.T. Barnum.
P.T. Barnum. That means we have 2 perfect rounds, correct? No?
That is 2 perfect
2
rounds
perfect rounds.
from Whitney Seibold and from Paul Preston. So, Whitney, Paul, because you got 8 questions right out of 8 in round at number 1, I'm going to ask you a question that is just to you two gentlemen. So, you are still going to use the whiteboard, and once we ask you by name to reveal your answer, please do so. Your bonus question for a point to be added to your team's total should you get it right. 1996's Bottle Rocket was the directorial debut of what filmmaker? So we know Alonzo Duralde, not a fan of Tommy Lee Jones or P.T. Barnum.
Yeah, definitely against both.
Who's
5,
worse, I wonder?
4, 3,
Those middle names.
2, 1. Pens are down. We're going to start with Paul.
Wes Anderson.
That's correct.
Wes Anderson.
We've got Anderson. All right. What a first round. Back and forth. Punch. Both teams seem to be working good, but that first round is more of an individual performance in terms of teams. Now we'll really see what they could do as teams for the wheel round.
Lots of points being scored here, Ken, and we move on to round number 2 as the managers make up their collective units and they get everybody settled. This is known as the wheel round. The wheel now has 6 questions per wedge because this is the team category. Each question is still worth 2 points. No penalty for missing a question. However, there is stealing available in round number 2. The team may confer amongst its members for each and every question. So Alonzo and Whitney can confide for each and every question, and Tom and Paul can, or Paul in his imagination, however you want to phrase it, can confer for each and every question. Again, questions worth 2 points. So it is a 16 to 15 lead, the narrowest of margins for Tom and Paul. Tom, Paul, would you like to spin first or defer to your opponent?
Go ahead.
They're going. All right. Mark, while Alonzo's walking up, we remind you today Wheel Slice is sponsored by our friends at patreon.com/Schmoedown. The sponsor Wheel Slice for today is Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron. Should one of the teams spin Charlize's wedge, we will reveal the name of that patron. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I really want to say it, so I hope somebody spins Charlize Theron. Opponent's choice.
Opponent's choice. Opponent's choice.
So now Tom and Paul, this is their first real test of chemistry.
Yep. Kate's
interacting.
Kate's coming over. Grace is coming on over.
So the managers are gonna confer with Tom and Paul and
Yeah.
see what they want to stick.
Sometimes it's the guess. It's just like maybe do you know it just touches them? You want to hopefully
Star
steal
Trek?
it. You want to have some
never heard of
gamemanship
that.
going. We're gonna need an answer soon here. Kate, who I do believe owns a deep dish pizza restaurant in Encino,
Yes,
is
she
going to
does.
try to get an answer here from the boys.
Geno's South.
Paul Tom will need a category soon here.
All right, we're gonna put you on the count. 5, 4, 3. What's the category?
Festival Darlings.
Festival
Darling.
Okay. Festival Darlings is going to be the category. I will be administering the questions for Festival Darlings. Deep 13 is the name, and Festival Darlings is the category. For 2 points, your first of 6 questions. What drama stars Andrew Garfield, Michael Shannon,
99
and Lauren Dern,
homes.
and is about a recently unemployed single father struggling to get back his foreclosed home by working for the real estate
99
broker
homes.
who is the source of his frustration?
99 homes.
Felt like I read the whole back of the VHS copy there, and that was 2 points.
Points for Deep 13. They take a lead. 17-16.
All right, we move on. What was the title of the 2004 documentary from Michael Moore, which criticized the U.S. involvement in the Iraq War?
Should I know this? I know this.
Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yes, it was. 2 more points.
Festival Darlings are tough.
All right. Your third question in the world of Festival Darlings, to further your 3-point lead. In 2018's Colette, who plays Colette's husband, Henry?
Can we get multiple choice, please?
I can provide that. Is it A, Dominic Cooper, B, Dominic West, C, Richard Madden, or D, Charlie Cox?
Richard Madden?
Dominic West.
1 point. One for Deep 13. It's
Halfway
historically been a very tough category if you spin it, but they're maneuvering their way around it.
They're doing good.
Halfway through round number 2. In The Fisher King, Robin Williams plays Perry, a deluded homeless man who claims it's his mission to find what?
The Holy Grail.
2 more points for Deep 13.
2 more questions left.
And they leap out to a 6-point lead. Your next question. In 2004's Hotel Rwanda, 2 African tribes are the cause of the genocide in Rwanda, the Hutus and the what?
The Tutsis.
That is 2 points.
Got it.
Very impressed with
Who do you think you are?
what
Not
Deep
Tutsi.
13 is going. That clearly corresponds to their knowledge when you say the word deep. Your last question in the world of Festival Darlings for 2 more points. Who plays young Stevie in the film Mid-90s?
Can we get multiple choice, please?
You can. Is it A, Nikel Smith, B, Lucas Hedges, C, Jake Ryan, or D, Sonny Suljic?
Lucas Hedges?
D.
D is correct for a point, and they spun opponent's choice. The pressure was on Tom and Paul to come up with something that might give them pause. They had to check the multiple choice a couple times, Ken, but wow, what a round 2 for Deep 13.
Yeah, look, you got to take that risk, but I think Alonzo Duralde's been to every one of these festivals. I think that's what he does for his job. So, right? So it did not pay off for Tom and Paul, and a
about
big
Outfest.
lead, 25-16 for Deep 13.
Tom and Paul, it is now your spin at the wheel. Who would like to be spinning?
I really want to see him do it.
Tom, at you're ready. Feels like maybe Paul empowering Tom and giving him a little more freedom than what Video Drew had.
Yeah,
in the
that
past.
could be the subplot here. That could be the subplot here. Big spin from Tom. Big spin from Tom. Watching it
spin by
round
Tom.
and round it goes. Where it stops, perhaps Tom already knows.
He might have inside intel. As he watches that wheel go round and round.
It's a good-looking wheel this year. Good-looking wheel this year, I'll tell you
Look
what.
at those bright new
Yeah.
wedges. Almost.
Romantic
Serious
comedies
choice.
if
So
they want to
romantic
keep it.
comedies.
I'd keep it.
Romantic comedies.
They conferring? I think we're going to say they're conferring.
Yeah, Tom retreating back to...
Tom not one to shout across a party room, so I understand the confirming here.
Meanwhile, you can hear Kate Mulligan from Orange County.
That's right.
All right, and the call is...
Going again.
Going again. Going again. Round two.
Spinning again. This is it.
Tom
using
to
their
spin.
mulligan.
Tom to spin.
And here comes Tom approaching that wheel.
Good spin, big spin. A lot of juice on that spin there.
Ken, am I reading too much into this, or does it seem that Tom is a little fearful of the technology that the wheel is?
Yeah.
Once it picks up speed, he knows instinctively to get away from its wake.
Tom strikes me as the kind of guy that could build an airplane, but is not sure how a car goes. Which is.
All right, it's careening towards opponent's choice.
We have
It is opponent's choice.
Oh no!
And so now Deep 13 has the pressure. What wedge do you give Tom and Paul? Do you saddle them with romantic comedies, which is what they just spun away from?
Look at Alonso's face. Whitney.
Romantic comedies, please.
Okay, there you go. 7
going with
times.
romantic
That's what
comedies.
happens. All right. Here we go. You got 6 questions. You do have 2 JTs remaining. Don't forget you have multiple choice. First question coming in. In Moonstruck, where does Ronnie insist that he and Loretta go before he will stop seeing her?
The opera.
2 points! Moonstruck. Deep cut.
Deep cut from Moonstruck.
All right. Question 2. In Legally Blonde, who plays Brooke Wyndham, the murder defendant L. befriends?
Allie Lauder.
Debating.
Jennifer Coolidge.
That's incorrect. A 2-point steal possible here.
Allie Lauder.
Can we get multiple choice, please?
You may not, because Tom and Paul did not elect to it.
Linda Cardellini?
Good guess, but no. Allie Larder. All right, Allie Larder. No whipped cream needed. Here we go. Third question coming in.
And knapsack.
Who played the title character in the teen
Hayden
rom-com
Panettiere.
I Love You, Beth Cooper?
Hayden Panettiere.
And 5, 4, 3, 2.
JTE.
Who played the title character in the
Hayden
teen
Panettiere.
rom-com I Love You, Beth Cooper?
Hayden Panettiere.
Good use. 2 points right there. Good use.
There it is.
Smart use of that there.
All right, they pulled it within 5 points, Ken. If they get their next 3 questions correct right off the bat, they're going to have a 1-point lead going into round number 3.
Fourth question, you got 6. What group sings at the wedding at the very end of Bridesmaids? They're conferring. I'm just making sure. Looking for an answer. Starting in 5.
Wilson Phillips.
Hold on for one more day. You got 2 points.
Someday somebody's going to turn around and make you want to say goodbye, Ken. Say goodbye.
I'll tell you what, their second album, Shadows and Light, underrated. All right, 5th question coming in. Which iconic actress played Grandma Annie in 2009's The Proposal?
Betty White.
2 more points.
2 more points, and they're within 1 of Deep 13's 25-point current score.
Right, we've got your 6th and final question in the category rom-coms that was thrust upon you. Final question. This comedic actress played Anita, Josie's promiscuous co-worker in 1999's Never Been Kissed. I had never been kissed in 99 either, so...
Name.
I think I had my first kiss that year.
And good for you. Good for you.
A whole
5,
new world.
4, 3.
Multiple choice.
A. Parker Posey. B. Janine Garofalo. C. Joan Cusack.
Parker
D. Molly
Posey.
Shannon.
I think it's Parker Posey.
Point here if they can get it.
It's been a while since I've seen that
Tie
movie.
them. Going into the final round. 5,
Parker Posey.
4. Incorrect. Answers are Parker Posey, Janine Garofalo, Joan Cusack, or Molly Shannon for a steal.
Be a huge 1-point steal, Ken.
Molly Shannon?
That's correct for steal. 1 point.
It's a big play.
Big steal there. Would have been tied going in round 3. But let me tell you, what a second round. Both teams get saddled with opponent's choice, and then they come out looking like this. That's great going into round 3. You got to have a lot of confidence on both sides.
I mean, team format, singles, intergate them, doesn't matter. You have this amount of points after round number 2. You're feeling really good about yourself and your knowledge. But now, both teams are feeling that way as we move into round number 3. This is the round that will decide the match. Yep. Each team is going to give us a series of numbers. These numbers can range from 1 to 20. Once you give us your 3 numbers, those numbers are going to correspond to a different category of movie trivia Schmoedown know-how. Because this is the team format, once you give us your numbers, I'm going to tell you what your 2-point question comes from the category of, and then the team will have to select which member answers it. You must answer the 2-pointer by yourself and the 3-pointer by yourself. You may only confer with your teammate for the 5 and final point question. Whoever answers the 2-pointer, the opposite team member must answer the 3-pointer. So, Deep 13, you're sitting in the lower ranked chairs, but you are currently up by 2 points. So what 3 numbers feel lucky from 1 to 20?
1, 4, and 15.
1,
4, and 15. And Tom and Paul.
6. 6.
You already selected 6. They're going to need another number.
11.
That will work. And
16.
okay.
That's great.
Okay.
That'll work.
Very hard to get a round of applause.
Yeah,
Just off of saying numbers, but Tom managed to pull it off. So Tom and Paul, I'll be administering you your questions. Ken will be asking D13 their questions. We start with Tom and Paul because you do find yourselves trailing by 2 points. You selected number 6 for your 2-point question. That category is scores and soundtracks. So which team member would like to answer that question solo?
You may ask me.
Tom's going to take it.
Tom is going to take the question. Tom, in the world scores and soundtracks for 2 points to tie the match, who provided the score for the films Apollo 13, A Beautiful Mind, and Braveheart?
I'm gonna say, John Williams. Go good with John Williams.
5, 4, 3.
Can you repeat the question?
I can.
Final one.
Who provided the score for the films Apollo 13, A Beautiful Mind, and Braveheart?
John Williams.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I can't accept an answer. It's James Horner. James Horner is who we're looking for. So we are going to stick with Tom and Paul for their 3-point question. After some discouragement and not being able to select 6 again, he settled for number 11. And that's going to go to Paul Preston and only Paul Preston in the category of fantasy science fiction. And your question is, for 3 points and the lead, John Malkovich plays the evil king Galbatorix, who has his own black dragon, in what 2006 film?
Aragon. Aragon.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Aragon?
That's correct for 3 points.
Tom and Paul have taken the lead.
For 3 points.
He had to reach down deep, Ken. No more JTE rules for Tom and Paul. He had to pull up something, and he pulled up Aragon. That is the correct answer.
All right.
And now Deep 13, no chance of a technical knockout. They got to get some questions right.
All right, 1 point lead indeed. All right, you guys chose number 1. That corresponds to the category of sports. Who is gonna take this one?
Okay.
Alonzo, is that we're gonna set with no manager here to help? We're gonna have to take that. Alonzo Duralde is here. You can put it on the board. Here comes sports. 2-point question, Alonzo. What Friends actor starred in the 1996 comedy Ed, playing a baseball pitcher who has a chimpanzee as a roommate
Matthew LeBlanc.
and a teammate?
That would be Matt LeBlanc.
You got it! 2 points! 2 points.
Sports movie? That's not a sports movie. Rollerball is a sports movie.
There is definitely...
It is enough of a sports movie to force the hand of Tom and Paul. Now we go back to them, and they could score a huge win for the Den here, Ken, if they get this 5-point question correct and take the lead over Deep 13. Gentlemen, you can confer for your 5-point question. You selected number 16, and that corresponds to the world of directors. And your question is, for 5 points, John Carpenter directed Chevy Chase in what 1992 film?
Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
Tom and Paul have taken the lead.
5 points! 31-28. 31-20.
And so now, in terms of fantasy points and making the scoreboard look good, although it is a moot point, we are going to ask a 3-point question to Deep 13, just to keep you loose and keep Whitney honest. So, Ken, what is their 3-point question?
All right, 3-point question. Whitney, you chose number 4. The question comes in the category of dramas. 3-point question. What Mike Nichols film stars Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton as a destructive married couple?
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
That's 3 points. 3 points right there.
3 points, and it's a great answer, Ken. It's nice knowledge that Whitney has. It doesn't really factor into this contest, except if you're talking about all-time points scored in a team match. If they now get their 5-point question correct, they not only win the match, they also will set a new record.
Absolutely.
They will tie a new record. They will tie an old record.
Tie an old record.
It's a lot of points.
A lot of them. That's a lot of points. 32-31. It comes down to this. You guys chose the number 15. You'll both be answering this question in the category of famous actors and actresses. Famous actors and actresses. A 5-point question. Which actor stars in multiple roles in the psychological thriller Raising Cain?
John Lithgow.
And your winner, John Lithgow it is!
Ties an all-time record, and they get some points for the Burning Grooves, who may or may not have a manager. What a match played by Tom and Paul. I think that they are gelling from a chemistry standpoint, and they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. But Deep 13, an all-time great performance we just witnessed here today.
I got to say, that was one of the best team matches in regular season play I've seen in quite a long time. Both teams just showing a lot of knowledge, and we were worried. Can they work together? Can they work together? I think there were no hiccups on either side. It was just a matter of who was going to blink first, and Tom and Paul kind of had a little stumble there. Deep 13 tying a record. That's impressive.
That is really impressive. Equally so is that we have two newer-ish kind of teams with these new factions to keep an eye on going forward, because 32 points, that is nothing to sneeze at. That wins, off the top of my head, 95% of movie trivia Schmoedown matches, so they know their stuff. Deep 13, just a little bit better, historically so. This afternoon.
32 points, that's usually my average bowling score, so they're doing quite well. I'm told that's a good score.
In person, folks, it is not pretty, and that's over 2 rounds of bowling. As we now go to a lady who reportedly bowled a 270 one time. That would be Jen Sturger, who now has an interview with the winning team, Deep 13.
Aw, Mark, stop. Guys, it's so great to be back here with Deep 13. It's so great to see you two having so much fun playing the game. I don't know. I felt like I've seen you guys compete so many times, and you just seem rejuvenated. Is it the new partnership? Like, what is it?
Well, I mean, this handsome mound of sex right next to me is certainly helping. And it's fun to play the game. It's fun to play the game no matter who you're playing against, especially when you're as well matched against your opponents as we were with Tom and Paul. But it's more fun when you win, isn't it?
I mean, you do seem in better spirits than past times when I've spoken to you on the loser side of the bracket.
Well, it's the caffeine.
Now, they gave you guys Festival Darlings. Was that a gaffe on their part for not knowing y'all's strengths?
Yeah, I actually asked for that wedge, so thanks. Yeah, I've been a film festival programmer for 30 years, so this is kind of my jam.
Maybe we should do a little more research before we go into this. But you guys did end up tying the team record. What does this kind of early success for you guys as a pairing mean to you all, especially considering that you did it all without your manager, Robert Meyer Burnett? Do we even know where he is?
Last I heard, he was in Albuquerque. He was holding up a liquor store or something like that.
That actually sounds incredibly accurate now that I think about it.
I was told he was trapped on an inner circle of fault, but I can't really take that to the bank or not. Thank you, 3 people who got that. No, I've never had a manager before, so this is just sort of business as usual for me. So, when he does bother to show up, I'm sure it'll be great. But in the meantime, we're okay.
So many people were actually, I don't know if you guys were even aware that you guys were kind of the underdogs in the situation. Everyone was thinking that Tom and Paul were just going to come in here and kind of clean house for you guys. What does this victory mean for you? Not only that, but just to be able to tie the team record in points.
Oh, well, we tied a record. We did it ourselves, so it's all downhill from here.
As somebody who's been a bridesmaid a lot in this, it's nice to be a bride. Even though
you make a beautiful one, I must say.
White is not really flattering on me, but we're gonna make it work.
Congratulations, guys, on your success. I can't wait to hear what Robert Meyer Burnett takes credit for it.
All right, yeah.
I actually can wait to see what Robert Meyer Burnett. I can wait a long time to hear from Robert Meyer Burnett, but Deep 13, we got 2 new stars on our hands.
Absolutely. My sources say Robert Meyer Burnett's hanging out with Colin Trevorrow at the Buffalo Wild Wings right now, but that's just me. Here's the thing. Everyone was looking at Tom and Paul and saying, we got 2 guys with great knowledge coming together. Maybe some people overlooked Alonzo Duralde and Whitney Seibold because these guys have, like I said, they've always proven things. They've always been they've always been so close. Now there's this magic together, tying a record your first time out. I understand where Whitney's coming from. I'm a depressive person too. It's all downhill. Maybe not. Maybe you ride it all the way to the promised land in spite of your manager, or maybe Robert comes in and shouts to the rooftops all the way to the top.
Like if Krusty the Clown is coming to your house for dinner, this could be the start of something big. And now we go to the losing side of the ledger. This is Tom and Paul and their faction managers, the Den, Grace Hancock and Kate Mulligan. Jen, it's a crowded house over there. Who's talking first?
It is. I think I'll start with Paul. Paul, I know that you're disappointed, obviously, because you guys were heavy favorites coming into this match. What do you think went wrong out there, aside just from, was it finding new team chemistry? What was it?
First of all, you see him too, right? Okay. Secondly, I mean, yeah, this is me in the league. It's wheel spins, it's technicalities, it's challenges, it's things like that. You come at me with trivia, I'll give you a game. But it's the little things, like sure, it was a bad wheel spin. We gave him the wrong category, and that probably sunk us. So that's what I got to leave. That's the sandwich I got to eat. First of all, I'm really upset. First of all, I'm not on the free-for-all poster. Me, right? I'm already in a dark state. And then this thing comes along, I'm not good. I'm going to have to head back out to the desert.
Desert, okay. Grace, do you have any thoughts on today's match?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is our first team match of the season, and the beauty of the game is that you don't know what's going to happen, but 32 points is nothing to scoff at all.
That wins on most days. It's just that Deep 13 played absolutely out of their minds.
That's what I was going to say.
Do you guys regret not doing a little bit more homework and possibly finding out that Festival Darlings might have been one of their strengths?
I got an answer for that. First of all, Festival Darlings wasn't our strength, okay? So we give it to them, we can't spin it, okay? Because if we had spun that, Tom, if we had just with the hands, if we had spun it, okay, we would have not gotten as many points as we got with romantic comedy, okay? So there's a strategy to what appears to be stupidity. Okay, I do think Tom wants to say something now. Sorry I grabbed it from you, Jen.
James Horner is dead.
And so am I after this interview. Back to you guys.
They do know their facts, Ken.
This is true. James Horner no longer with us, but a great work there. Let's pause for a moment out of respect for James Horner.
Love you, James. But I will say that Tom and Paul are still here, and I don't think they're going anywhere. I think that they're learning how to coalesce, learning how to be managed. They are too. Loose cannon might be the strong word for them, but now them being reined in by the Den, I think they're under good leadership. I think it just takes some precious time.
I'll tell you what, they could work together almost like it's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, kind of this crazy kind of duo here. And if I know Paul Preston, he is always going to be producing and looking for his next win, his next road forward to success. So I have a lot of faith in what they're doing. Again, 32 points, that's impressive. Great team match here today.
Great match that we witnessed, Ken. Pleasure being with you as always. Make sure everyone out there checks out the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Patreon. Select which tier is right for you. Become a fan today. And we have some upcoming live events we are very excited about. In a matter of weeks, we are going to be going to Atlanta, Georgia. The Rich Theater, February 29th is the home of the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. You got Dan Merle going up against Ben Bateman. What a title match that is going to be. And then right here in Los Angeles the next month in March, the free-for-all. Get tickets right now at the Schmoedownlive.com. That is Ken Knapsack. He wrote a book that he read to me last night, and it's fantastic. Why We Love Star Wars. I am merely Mark Baby Carrots Ellis. Ken, take us out.
Will Dale Murphy be in Atlanta? Find out. It's the Movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Well, that was a great match. I will be highly surprised if by the end of the year, this isn't nominated, at least nominated for Match of the Year. It was great. Kate, I'm sure in time you'll be a great manager. You gotta know your competition a little better. Whitney and Alonzo, they've been in the business for a long time. You can't give them Festival Darlings. Yeah, that was a gaffe on your end. But Tom and Paul, you still played great. It was a great match. Thoroughly entertaining. Tom he's quite a character. He's funny. I like Tom. If you like my reactions, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Christopher Woodburn. You can find me on Twitter, Chris Woodburn83, Facebook, Christopher Michael Woodburn. So until next time, Mr. Boy C-Dub, peace.